Hello, kids of hope. Happy Sabbath and welcome to another exciting episode of Sci Kid. Have you ever felt like you got a fresh start or a second chance? Maybe it was after apologizing for something or starting a new school year. Well, today, we're going to explore how this feeling of new beginnings is connected to spiritual renewal. Today, we're going to do a fascinating experiment that shows us how things can change and become new, just like how we can become new creations in Christ. Here are the materials for our experiment. Glue, I'm using Elmer's, but you can use any glue. A paper plate or plates. We're not using paper plate, we're using this plate. Food coloring of different colors. We have red, blue, yellow, and green, but we have two greens. Some dish soap, very big. A pipette or eyedropper. Or you can use a Q-tip. Or you can use a Q-tip. Or cotton buds. Now that the materials are ready, let's get started. First, pour some glue onto a paper plate. Now let's pour lots and lots of glue. Okay. That's enough. Now let's close the lid. Okay. Now let's rotate the plate around in the circle to spread the glue out evenly and thinly. Or we can just do it like this. Next, add a few drops of food coloring to the glue. You can use one color or mix and match different colors. So we're going to add all the colors. And to make sure that we get the right amount of color in here, we're going to be using a spoon. So just pour. Now, make sure it's small. To scatter this, we should. So first, I'm going to add a few droplets of blue, maybe not yellow, and then at last, we're going to add a few drops of red. Okay. Let's use a pipette or Q-tip to add a drop of dish soap to each color drop. If you are using a Q-tip, dip it into the dish soap and gently touch each color drop. Now we're using this. That's it. This. Wow! Can you see that? It's spreading. And it turns out here we kind of mix some red and blue, but that's good. Okay. Can you see that? Let's continue watching as the colors grow into different patterns. And yes, they already did. Now look at that. That looks beautiful. And as you can see, the colors, they don't get in each other's territory. What just happened? According to Kids Fun Science, the glue contains water and a chemical called polyvinyl acetate, which are like long, flexible strands of hair moving around in the water. When you add food coloring, it doesn't spread much because of these strands. That's why it didn't spread before we add the dish soap. But when we added the dish soap, The soap molecules in the dish interact with the coloring and the glue mixture. They spread out and move the coloring with them, creating those cool branching patterns. Like this, for example. Kids of Hope, just like the soap molecules change the way the colors moved and spread, spiritual renewal can change us from the inside out. When we accept Jesus, it's like adding a special kind of soap to our lives. His love and grace help us spread out and grow in new ways. Just like the colors spreading across the plate. Just as the soap molecules interacted with the glue and coloring to create something new, God's love interacts in our hearts to make us new creations. And that's the coolest science experiment of all. 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old is gone, the new is here." Kids of Hope, remember that just like the colors change and spread out, we can experience new beginnings in our lives through faith. Keep celebrating the gift of new life. I hope you learned something from our experiment today. Do this at home and remember the lesson that came with it. Once more, this is Yuan, and see you next time here on Sci